Well, good morning, YouTube. When's the last time we had a video that opened up with me walking a dog? I know some of you guys might miss that, some of you longtime viewers. For those of you that are new, it's been about 2 years since we had to put our dog down. So now we only have a dog with us when someone brings one. So this is Jessa. She is Talon's dog. And since Talon is going to go on this trip with us, she's tagging along the way, and we love having her. So we are waking up this morning at White's Travel Center in Racine, Virginia. And yeah, I said this morning, if you guys caught yesterday's video, you know that we didn't even pull in here until almost 5 o'clock in the morning. Katie and Talon went to bed about 5. I still had to edit and upload a video. I think it was about 6:30 by the time I went to bed. For some reason, I woke back up at 10:30. I did not want to sleep that little. I fully intended to sleep until at least noon or 1 o'clock, but it just didn't happen. I'm wide awake. Now, it is quite the beautiful morning out here. It was a little bit warm trying to sleep in Goliath because we didn't have good airflow, and of course the sun just beating down on it. We didn't have the AC or anything like that turned on, but now that Jess is done doing her business, I think I'm gonna grab the coffee cups, head inside, grab some coffee. Katie is getting herself ready and together. I think Talon is already inside using the restroom, so it's coffee time. Hi guys, so we got our coffee and we're gonna go take a walk around inside. Talon has never actually been to White's before. And I know I showed some of you guys last year, but we've got a lot of new viewers since then as well. This is definitely like a mall inside. So you've got the huge food court. There's even a dog wash, the convenience store, all kinds of different restaurants and cafes. And then over here, they've got the Mercantile. And it's kind of like a chrome shop department store type thing going on. So we'll go check it out so you guys can see it. So they got a Papa John's and a Subway. Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Cafe just called The Kitchen. And Nathan's famous hot dogs.
We're good.
There's even a movie theater across from the barber shop. Some really cool old antique gas pumps. Look, Jessa sees us coming back. Hi, Jessa. How about girl? All right, guys, it is almost 1 o'clock, and I think it's time to hit the road. A little bit later than I thought we were going to leave when we woke up so early, but here we go anyways. Just waiting for some of these trucks to pass by, and we're going to pull out. So the fuel here is $3.85, and if you guys remember last year, we went up to the Sheetz to get fuel because it's always cheaper. I haven't checked it now to know how much cheaper, but we will see. Good luck to Kenworth going by. So once we get pulled out of here, we got about an hour drive to get to the Sheetz. Then we get some cheap fuel and a burrito.
just before I went up, and I had no choice but to slam on the brakes. And now there's so many cars I can't get around them.
All right, guys, so we stopped by the Sheetz at exit 273 here in Northern Virginia. Topped off the fuel tanks. It was, what is it, 339 here? Yeah, it was like 339 or 334. It doesn't tell me out here in the pump just yet, but I saw the sign when we came in. It's not as big of a spread as it was last year. If I'm not mistaken, last year it was 395 up at White's and it was 313 here. So this year was 385 up at White's and 334 here, which is still significant savings, just not quite as big of a spread. So while we're stopped, we topped up the fuel. I cleaned the windshield, double checked the oil, stuff like that. We did like our tire pre-trip and everything before we left the White's this afternoon, whatever. But because we knew we were only going an hour, I waited to do the rest of the stuff here. And got my burrito. I'm getting ready to eat it. I don't know what this guy over here is doing though. The other truck pulled out. This guy pulled through, turned around, and then pulled through backwards. So he's going the wrong direction. And then he's not even doing anything. He parked there and he's not pumping fuel. He's not pumping DEF. He's not doing anything. He just pulled in backwards and parked. All right, done with my burrito. Washed out my coffee cup. Just not in the mood for any more coffee. So I think it's time to get back on the road. If you guys are bonehead trucker fans, you know that real truckers don't wear flip-flops. And it looks like a backwards facing guy finally moved when I went inside to wash my hands and rinse out my cup, but he was there for a good 20 minutes. No fuel, no nothing. And there are plenty of parking spots here and around the other side. Just as we were coming down the hill to the Maryland state line, just everybody stopped awfully quick. I think the truck in front of me really cooked its brakes. I know I had to get on mine pretty hard as well. Not fun. Stopping on traffic the entire way through Maryland.
trailer. It was one long rig with all three pieces hooked together. Alright, so we just crossed into the state of New York, and as soon as you cross the New York line, you gotta climb this really steep hill. But as you see that view kind of off to the left, the sun setting over those mountains to the left there, just absolutely beautiful looking down into that valley. It's getting pretty dark, and we should be coming up to the Hudson River here pretty soon. Alright guys, looks like we just crossed into Connecticut, going through Danbury now. Making good time still. Of course, it's obviously dark out now. Feeling pretty good. We're just gonna keep going. I'm hoping someplace up here, maybe I'll stop and go to the restroom. Maybe grab some coffee. Alright guys, it looks like an accident or something. Police car just came flying by me and everybody was on their brakes. He didn't have his lights flashing, but the lights at the back of his car were on. Kind of weird, but everybody gotta get 12 more feet ahead of where they were. Alright guys, Katie just looked at the traffic report and it just looks like it may just slow down. It doesn't show an accident. There was a sign for some construction back a little ways, but I thought it was like directing way further, so we're not really sure why this traffic is here at the moment. Yeah, because it's like 9:45 at night. We definitely didn't expect this kind of traffic this late at night, but this is earlier than we have been coming through typically also, so maybe this is just Connecticut. I don't know. Alright, just some road construction. We are now through it. Alright guys, coming into Waterbury, we found more construction and more stop and go. Everybody, more construction, more slowdown.
Imagine that.
And for the fourth time in 50 miles, down to one lane again. At least this time we're not jamming on our brakes and coming to a stop.
right, guys, it is quarter till 12, right? Yeah, 11. Yeah, it's like 11:45 at night, and we are exit 71 in Connecticut. So we've gone through Hartford finally after 4 construction zones. Connecticut has not been pleasant to us this time. We're almost to the Massachusetts line, but I haven't been out of that driver's seat since the Sheetz down in Virginia. And I just felt like I need to stretch my legs. It's about time to go pee, and I'm ready for some coffee. So we stopped at this new Love's. I say new, they built it in 2021. If you guys remember, those of you that have been around that long, this place was under construction. And I accidentally made the wrong turn leaving the TA and ended up over here in a spot where I couldn't turn around. Their parking lot wasn't finished. So I was trying to ask somebody if it was okay to come onto their fresh blacktop that they had just put down to make a U-turn. And this guy walked over to the truck. I thought he was going to yell at me for being someplace I wasn't supposed to be. And he looked at me, and with his New England accent, he's like, "Hey, I watch you on YouTube." So anyway, this is the first time we've been back since, and so the first time we've ever been to this particular Love's while it's actually been open. Now we're going to clean the windshield on the truck as well because it is just caked in bugs, and we're going to keep on our way. I think we've got about 2.5 hours or so till our destination, if I'm not mistaken. So at least we're ahead of schedule. We'll get there a little earlier this time. Oh, that bug was still alive. Alright, I can't do this with one hand. Alright, windshield is, kind of half-assed clean. Talons checking the securement of our cargo in the trailer. I'm kicking the tires and all that dumb stuff. Check our chains. Everything's looking pretty good. Like I said, the roads, actually I didn't say it yet. I said it when we were leaving last night, how awful the roads were in the Northeast, and they are not disappointing. They're as awful as I remember them. Everything's looking good other than it's filthy. Goliath definitely needs another bath, but I don't think it's going to happen. Well, guys, just after 2:30 in the morning, and we're here. Didn't seem as long and tiring as it did last year, but I'm glad we're here. So we definitely had a schedule. If you guys remember, the sun was coming up as we pulled in here last year. Actually, the sun was already up, I think, all the way maybe. I don't even remember. But I remember I was so tired that I didn't even want to edit my video right away. I just wanted to go to sleep. This one, I'm going to edit. I'm over construction, though, I can tell you that. Connecticut, Massachusetts, and even a little bit here in New Hampshire. Just down to one lane so many times. I mean, I showed you a few. I didn't even show you all of them. It was pretty pathetic. You know, it just seems so quiet and peaceful here, especially after spending so many hours in Goliath. You know, Goliath is loud. He rattles, he roars, he screams, he jake brakes. There's no peaceful quietness when driving Goliath. So when you get here, you shut it off, and all I hear is a couple crickets and maybe like an ice machine or something over there running. Just so quiet and peaceful. I'm quite enjoying it. Well, guys, that's going to put an end to our journey. We have arrived safe and sound. I don't know exactly which day we're going to set up. So it's early Tuesday morning now. We're going to get some sleep. I'm hoping the weather's actually going to be really nice here today on Tuesday. So if we get a couple hours of sleep, we might just go riding. Katie and I still want to go to Mount Washington. We have never been to the top yet, and it looks like on Wednesday it might start raining. I think Thursday will be the day that they might let us move in there and park, and then Friday will be setup day. Not positive on that, but you guys will know more as soon as I do. Now, today the weather was fantastic on this drive. If I'm not mistaken, last year was all rain. The year before that was the smoke, or vice versa. I honestly don't remember. But there were issues. This time it was just perfect. It was cool enough. Like, it was warm this morning in the sun, but driving down the road with the breeze coming in the window, it felt really, really nice. Right now it's like 53 out here. It's actually considerably chilly at the moment. And just north of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, right where 81 kind of splits to the left, and I think it's 78 or 76 goes to the right over towards Allentown. Right about there, I started a time lapse, and I let that time lapse run all the way until we hit the Connecticut line. So all the way, the rest of the way up through the mountains of Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, 84 across, all the way through New York, all the way till just after the sunset. Just absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna throw this in at the end, and I hope you guys enjoy that as well. But I want to thank you guys for watching once again, and like always, I hope you enjoyed it. And until the next time I see you, keep those